What's happening around the world and what's happening here at home? A very good evening to you and welcome to Weekend Primetime News. I'm Sandro Ferdinando and here are your headlines for tonight.
269 hectares of the port city land added to the land of Sri Lanka under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. A request made to the Prime Minister that Anuradhapura also needs water from the Moragahakanda project. 163,000 affected as a result of the incessant rain. 250 people in Badulla relocated due to the risk of landslides. The heavy showers to continue. Sri Lanka ranked 6th on the list of countries most affected in 2018 in the Global Climate Risk Index 2020. Sri Lanka's Caroline Jury crowned Mrs. World at the pageant in US.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mrs. World 2020, Caroline and Jury.
First up in news here at home, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa paid homage to the Kotte Rajamahavihara this evening.
The President arrived at the Kotte Rajamahavihara and engaged in religious observances. Subsequently, the President called on the chief incumbent of the Kotte Rajamahavihara, Venerable Alutnuwara Anuruddha Thero, and obtained his blessings. Many ministers and MPs were also present.
Meanwhile, celebrating the occasion of adding 269 hectares to the land of Sri Lanka in the Colombo Central Business District, Port City Colombo issued a commemorative stamp and first day cover.
The event was attended by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, Chinese Ambassador to Sri Lanka Chen Xie-yuan, Tang Quan Liang, President of the China Harbour Engineering Company, and other officials attached to the project. The commemorative stamp and first day cover were issued at the start of the event. The event was followed by a grand firework display engineered by a renowned Chinese firework team.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa visited the Anuradhapura religious site this morning.
The Prime Minister met with the Attamasthanadipati Venerable Pallegama Srinivasa Thera and obtained blessings. Afterwards, the Prime Minister paid homage to the Jai Shri Mahabodhi. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa then visited the Ruan Valley Chaitya Ramadipati Venerable Pallegama Hemaratana Thera. After receiving blessings from the Venerable Thera, the Prime Minister paid homage to the Ruan Valley Saya. He then visited the Midasavatiya Rajamahavihara. He obtained blessings from the Viharadipati of the Midasavatiya Rajamahavihara, Venerable Ithalavatnavave Jnanathilaka Thera.
නිසි කාලට නිසි දැන් වැහැලා තියෙනවා. වැස්ස පෑවුවමත් මේ හැමතුමා මේ වැව් ටික හාර ගන්න ඕනේ. ඔව් ඒ කාලේ වැව් හාරන්න වැඩ පිළිවෙල අපේ කාලේ පටන් ගන්නනේ වැව් ප්‍රශ්න. ඔව්. නාගේ දිගටම වැව් හාරනවා. හැබැයි වැව් හැරුවේ වැඩි ගන්න. මේ මොරගහකන්ද ජලාශය අනුරාධපුරයටත් හරවන්න ඕනේ. ඕක ආයිගොන් මේ යුද්ධයේ දිනුවට වැඩි වැඩක්. පුරොන්නරු ඊයේ ලොකු චෝදනාව මේ පුරොන්නරු එහා පැත්තේ කවුරුලට මේ වතුර නැහැ. කවුරුලට මේක හරස් කරපු එකෙන් දැන් මේක ලොකු වැඩක් අපි කියන එක. අපි වැස්සලා දිනව නෙමෙයි. මේ රාජධානියට මෙහාට නේ. කොහොම වුණත් ඒ වැඩපිළිවෙල අපි මෙහාට පොඩ්ඩක් අත්දැකලා ඒක දැන් අර වයකට යනවා. අන්න ඒක තමයි මේ කට්ටිය කලබල වෙලා ඉන්නේ. මේක වහලා එහාට දැම්මා කියලා.
දැන් වයකටත් ගියාට කමන්නේ අපිටත් ඕන.
ඔව් දෙපැත්තටම ඔව්.
The Prime Minister also met with the Viharadipati of the Anuradhapura Jayanti Viharaya, Venerable Nugathanne Panyananda Thera, and obtained blessings.
Welcome back. And continuing any more local news, the Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, appeared before the Presidential Commission to investigate the April 21st terror attacks for the second day today.
The Archbishop appeared before the Commission based on a request to provide evidence. He arrived in the morning and was providing evidence as at 1 p.m. today.
අපේ සාක්ෂිය ඉදිරිපත් කරලා අපිට කියන්න තියෙන දේවල් අපි කොමිෂන් සභාවේ සභාපතිතුමා සහ අනිකුත් අය සමග අපේ දන්න කරුණු ටික බෙදාගත්තා.
එච්චරයි. කොමිසම මොම්බේ සඳහන් කරලා තිබ්බා මේ සිදුවීම බලපෑම් ගැනීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් නායකයින් රටේ නායකයින් මොකක්ද කියන්න ඕනේ කියලා.
ඒ ඔක්කොම දේවල් දැන් අපි කිව්වට පස්සේ කොමිෂන් සභාව අනිත් සියලු දෙනාගෙන්ම ප්‍රශ්න කරලා කරුණු හොයලා බලලි කරලා වාර්තාවක් ඉදිරිපත් කරා. ඉතින් ඒ වාර්තාව එනතුරු අපි මේ ගැන මොකුත් කියන්නේ නැහැ මීට වඩා.
මේ වෙද්දී දේශපාලන නායකයන් සම්බන්ධයෙන් පියවරක් කරන්න, ඒ කියන්නේ රජයේ නිලධාරීන් සම්බන්ධයෙන් නෛතික පියවර අරන් තියෙනවා. නමුත් දේශපාලන නායකයන් සම්බන්ධයෙන් කිසිම නෛතික පියවරක් කරන්නේ නැහැ.
ඒ ඔක්කොම අපි බාර දෙමු කොමිෂන් සභාවේ නිගමනවලට සහ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ සොයා ගැනීම අනුව ඒගොල්ලන් නිර්දේශ කරાવી. නිර්දේශ කරපු දේවල් රජය කවුරු හරි කරાવી ඒ කරන්න තියෙන දේවල් අපි ඒක බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. එච්චරයි.
හරියට මේ කොමිෂන් සම්බන්ධ විශ්වාසයක් තියනවාද?
ඔව් ඔව් මම විශ්වාස කරනවා කොමිෂන් සභාව අවංකයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ වැඩ කටයුතු හොඳින් කරાવી කියලා මම විශ්වාස කරනවා.
මීට පෙරත් කොමිසමක් දැම්ම ඒ වගේම නෛතික නඩුත් තිබෙනවා. නමුත් මේ වෙද්දිවත් සාධාරණත්වයකට වෙලා නැහැ. මේ කොමිසම ගැන විශ්වාසයක් තියන්න පුළුවන්ද?
පුළුවන් විශ්වාස කරන්න.
Yesterday, the Cardinal, who appeared before the Commission, made a statement for over 4 hours.
Over 163,000 people from 70,000 families have been affected by the incessant rains that battered the island. The Assistant Director of the Disaster Management Centre, Pradeep Kodipilli, said that over 80,000 people are being sheltered at 90 relief centres. The heavy rains have also adversely affected the northern and eastern provinces. 14 spill gates of the Iranamadu Reservoir have been opened, while all spill gates in the Kilinochchi district have been opened. According to our correspondent, surrounding areas were inundated because of this. He added that 507 residents of 151 families in the Pannalakandi area were taken to safe locations. 569 families in the Parandan and Siyapuram in Kilinochchi are being sheltered at the Parandan Community Centre.
In the Kilinochchi district alone, about 25,000 people have been affected. We received information that about 27 shelters have been set up.
Meanwhile, the water levels of the lagoons in the Mullaitiyu district have increased. Floods in the region has damaged many farmlands. A section of the Mullaitiyu Jaffna main road gave away in Silapuram yesterday due to the incessant rains in the area. According to our correspondent, steps are underway to restore the road. Meanwhile, lowlands in areas including Tondamanru, Nakulam and Kallundai have been inundated. The Battikal district suffered the most at the hands of the floods that affected the island. 51,434 people from 15,019 families residing in areas falling under the purview of 13 divisional secretariats have been affected in the region. 2 people have sustained injuries. The tourist police division in Anuradhapura was flooded after the Malvatoya overflowed. According to our correspondent, water that flooded the station had risen to 6 feet. The officers at the Anuradhapura tourist police division had carried out their duties at the main entrance of the police station. Flow of traffic along the Badula-Kandy main road was interrupted due to a landslide that occurred at the Dunhinda turn last night. Our correspondent said that flow of traffic along the road has been limited. Meanwhile, according to the Disaster Management Centre, 250 people from 60 families in Badula Dambettanna have been sheltered at safe locations due to the risk of landslides in the area. A tree had fallen onto a number of parked buses that brought pilgrims to the Anuradhapura sacred grounds. No one was injured in the incident, however the buses were severely damaged. This is footage of Rajamavata along the Buttala road in Katharagama that was captured today. We are now joined by Newsfirst Tarusha Kumar Singh for the latest weather forecast. Tarusha, what do you have in store for us?
Thank you very much, Sandharu. A very good evening to all our viewers watching Primetime News on TV1. This is Weather First. Taking a look at your weather forecast for tomorrow and in the upcoming days. The prevailing showery condition across the island, according to the Meteorology Department, will enhance furthermore, particularly in the northern, North Central, Eastern and Uva provinces. The Meteorology Department further noted that showers or thunder showers will occur at times in Batiklo, Ampara, Badulla, Monoragala, Hambantota, Nuwara, Matale and Polonnaruwa districts. Several spells of showers will occur in Mullaitivu, Vavuniya and Anuradhapura districts as well. Adding further, the Met Department said showers or thunder showers will occur elsewhere after 1 p.m. tomorrow. Fairly heavy showers of about 50 to 75 millimeters are likely will occur at some places in Sabaragamuwa and Uva provinces and in Gaul, Matara and Kalutara districts. Taking a look at your weather forecast for the sea areas around the country, showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the sea areas extending from the Trincomalee to Hambantota coastline via Batiklo. Showers or thunder showers will occur in the other sea areas in the afternoon or night. Winds will be northeasterly and speed will be 30 to 40 kilometers per hour in the sea areas around the island. And of course, the Meteorology Department advises the general public to be vigilant and take adequate precautions during lightning and to be vigilant entirely during this prevailing extreme weather condition in the country. It's back to you, Sandharu.
Thank you, Tarusha. While torrential rains downpour in certain parts of the island, some farmers living in other parts of the island are facing severe water shortages. This is the situation in Valigama. The Valigama Jamburagoda paddy field is the largest of its kind in the south, spanning over 18,000 acres. However, at present, the farmers cultivate on less than 100 acres of this land. The reason for this being the lack of a suitable irrigation system. As a result of this, farmers in the Addaravela, Jamburagoda, Palalla, Borala and Valapitiya have stopped cultivating on these lands. The farmers state that if a proper irrigation system could be established to ensure that water is distributed equally among all parts of the paddy field, then this land could be made fertile and prosperous once again.
There has been no proper system to drain the excess water in 15 to 20 years. Funds are passed under the guise of renovating the canal systems, but no work is done. There are existing water canals, but the excess water is not drained properly. What we need now is to renovate the existing canal system so that water is distributed and drained properly.
With the prevailing weather condition in the country, attention has been focused to disaster management. The Auditor General also issued a report regarding natural hazards in Sri Lanka.
The Global Climate Risk Index 2020, published by the environmental think tank German Watch, ranked Sri Lanka the 6th most affected country by weather-related loss events such as storms, floods and heat waves in 2018. Japan, the Philippines, Germany, Madagascar and India makes up the top 5 countries affected the most. The National Audit Office points out, due to such environmental risks the country is currently facing, Sri Lanka must pay more attention towards disaster management. However, amendments to the Sri Lanka Disaster Management Act, which provides legal cover for natural disasters, is yet to be completed. The Auditor General's Department further points out the National Building Research Organization does not have any powers to enforce legal action, as the institute is not a legitimate institution. It added even though the Disaster Management Act identifies 21 natural disasters, increase in global temperature and increase in sea levels is not included. The report states that in the past year, disaster risk reduction only focused on floods, landslides and droughts. It adds the preparation of the National Disaster Management Plan for the period between 2018 and 2030 commenced in 2017 but was not completed even by the end of last year, resulting in the failure to implement several disaster management plans. The construction of houses for 167 families in the Kalutara district and 151 families in the Ratnapura district that were affected in the 2017 floods is yet to be completed. The report states in 2017, 238 families in the Kandy district were identified as residents of high-risk zones, while 125 families of the 238 lacked housing facilities. The Auditor General points out relief to those affected by the drought were also not provided in the right manner. The report said in 2018, 451,224 individuals from 14 districts were identified as beneficiaries of drought relief, and on the 25th of September 2018, 700 million rupees was disbursed to the district secretariats for this purpose. However, 15 days later, upon the instructions of the Secretary to the Ministry of Disaster Management, these funds were reclaimed. The report further reveals the account maintained by the Ministry to provide relief to victims also received contributions from foreign and local donors. However, as at the 6th of August 2018, the accounts posted a balance of 294.43 million rupees. These unutilized funds also include the $100 million received by the Chinese government. It further pointed out plans were not in place for 278 disaster management projects, for which 480 million rupees was allocated. Even though 474.43 million rupees was provided to the divisional secretariats to implement 278 disaster management projects in 2018, only 361.49 million rupees had been utilized. The report further reveals about a Doppler radar system that was purchased at a cost of 320 million rupees as per a budget proposal in 2006. The Auditor General points out this machine was sent to the factory for renovation purposes in 2017. However, no progress in this regard has been submitted. Observations also said the cost of 408.82 million rupees that was incurred to install this machine during the end of 2018 was omitted from the accounts. The people strongly believe that the Auditor General should continue to reveal such matters to the general public.
National organizer of the All Ceylon Farmers Federation, Namal Kana Ratna, expressed the following views in Dambulla yesterday.
As of now, 100,000 acres of land belonging to the farmers have been destroyed owing to the prevalent inclement weather condition. The corn farmers in Ampara have been severely affected. Before the elections, the farmers were promised fertilizer subsidies. Now the farmers are waiting for the subsidies. There is a need to educate the farmers on how these subsidies will be provided to them. The government has avoided this topic.
Under which symbol will the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and the Sri Lanka Freedom Party contest the upcoming general election? Leader of the Pithuru Helaurume Udaya Gammanpila expressed regarding the matter during a media briefing today. So far, the stance of all our parties is to contest the election as the Sri Lanka Podujana United Alliance. The symbol of this alliance is the chair. So far, from a senior level, any proposal to change this symbol has not been presented. Yes, he was the former secretary of that party. We have to appoint a new secretary. Together with all 16 parties, we have drafted a new party constitution. During the party leaders' meeting of our alliance that was convened last Tuesday, Minister Nima Siripal de Silva took over the responsibility to appoint a new secretary. We will then approve the new constitution. After completing all of this, we will appoint a new board of officers.
අපි නිලධාරි මණ්ඩලය මුලින් වෙනස් කරනවා ඊළඟට පවතින ව්‍යවස්ථාව වෙනුව නව ව්‍යවස්ථාව සම්මත කරගන්නවා මේ කාරණා ටික
Minister Mahinda Amarveera expressed the following views at a meeting of the SLFP party activists held in Ratmalwala, Videnia.
We can now see that some people are demeaning our support. They are not the leaders. The President and the Prime Minister appreciates our support very much. Then there are others who say that they are a small party. They just tagged along on our victory. We could have won with or without their support. We would like to tell these people to familiarize themselves with the numbers. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa won with an overhead of 1.3 million votes. The SLFP entered the election with 1.48 million, and as an alliance, we had 1.7 million votes. We know what kind of situation the President would have been if he did not contest together with the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. If he had obtained 300,000 less than what he got, we would have gone for the second preference. We know who the JVP used their second preference vote for. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa did not have the second preference vote of the JVP. Sajith Premadasa had that preference vote. Now you must have realized how different it would be today if we did not declare our support to the President.
A stock of handbills that were used for the election propaganda activities of Sajith Premadasa was found in a shop that collects old newspapers along the Kalmune Road in Ampara. The stock of handbills that were to be distributed among the public in the run-up to the recently concluded presidential election was found this morning. It is alleged that these were sold by an unidentified group to a shop that was collecting old newspapers.
මේවා කවුද අයගෙන දෑමත් ඔෆිස් එකේ දෑමත් ඔෆිස් එකේ කවුද දන්නේ දන්නේ කවුද කියලා දන්නේ දන්නේ කිලෝ කොච්චරද මෙතන කිලෝ මෙතන 1000 කණක් තියෙනවා
UNP parliamentarian Vijaypala Hettiarachchi convened a media briefing in Galle today.
නව ජනාධිපතිවරයාට අපි කියනවා ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමාට කියනවා
We kindly request President Gotabaya Rajapaksa not to attempt to prorogue Parliament after delivering his throne speech on the 3rd of January. Give the opposition leader his proper position and allow us to function as the opposition in a democratic force. When the opposition leader is appointed, he will face the biggest challenge as he will be the prime ministerial candidate of the next general election. These people can prorogue Parliament and completely render the powers of the opposition leader dysfunctional. The responsibilities of the opposition leader lies in Parliament. The cabinet cannot function arbitrarily, treating the wealth of this country as their property. I have a suspicion that the opposition leader will not be allowed to take his proper position in Parliament, and Parliament will be prorogued undemocratically to achieve this. Today, this government plans on securing a 2/3 majority in Parliament. We would like to send a message that we will not allow them to even get 113 members to form a government at the next election.
අද මේ ආණ්ඩුව බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන 3න් 2ක බලයක් ගන්න 3න් 2ක නෙමෙයි.
United National Party MP Ashok Abe Singh expressed the following views at a media briefing held in Kurunegala today.
අපි බලය ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා තමයි ඉදිරි පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණය යොදාගන්නේ. අපි
We will be using the forthcoming general election to assume power. We hope to obtain over 113 seats in Parliament. They hope to change the 19th Amendment with a 2/3 majority. However, we will work towards ensuring that this will not happen. Likewise, a majority in the working committee is requesting for Sajith Premadasa to be appointed as the party leader. Therefore, we sincerely hope and believe that during the next few days that the senior leadership and the former Prime Minister and current party leader, Ranil Wickremesinghe, will come together and decide on this, just as they decided on the candidate for the presidential election. We will commence work for the next general election under a new leader, and this leader is Sajith Premadasa.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමා වර්තමාන නායකතුමා
Leader of the Janasitha Peramuna Venerable Battaramulle Seelaratana Thero convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
වත්මන් ජනාධිපතිතුමා ජනාධිපති ධූරයේ අරගෙන තවම මාසයක් ගත වුණේ නැහැ.
It has not even been a month since the current president took office. The Mahasangha community intends on bringing down the current government before the end of this month. The Mahasangha needs to keep in mind that the president cannot execute all the duties and responsibilities and promises the very next day after assuming office. When the president takes a wrong decision, we strongly stand against him, and on the other hand, when he makes a good decision, we stand with him and support him. The engine of the parliament is a new one, but the carriages are old. We must now focus on removing the old carriages and getting new carriages for the new engine.
In other local news, Mrs. Sri Lanka Caroline Jury has been crowned Mrs. World 2020. The Sri Lankan was crowned as Mrs. World after a lapse of 35 years.
The finals of the Miss World 2020 pageant was held in Las Vegas, Nevada in a grandeur manner. Contestants from 51 countries participated in this year's pageant.
All right, ladies. One of you.
This is the moment that Mrs. Caroline Jury was crowned Miss World 2020.
The new Mrs. World is Sri Lanka! World 2020, take your first walk. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. World 2020.
Caroline and Jury.
Jury was selected as the winner ahead of the first runner-up Ireland and second runner-up US Virgin Islands. She became the second Sri Lankan to win the title after Mrs. Rosie Sena Naika, who was crowned as Mrs. World 1984 at the first ever Mrs. World pageant. This year's winner, Mrs. Jury, is a 27-year-old mother of one. She is due to arrive in Sri Lanka tomorrow.
In news overseas, a UK court in London yesterday in absentia convicted Brigadier Priyanka Fernando of violating UK's Public Order Act by an offensive gesture and fined £4,419.80 after the court ruled that he was not protected by diplomatic immunity. The Ministry of Foreign Relations issued a release in this regard today.
Issuing a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Relations of Sri Lanka said the government of Sri Lanka continues to maintain Brigadier Fernando as a diplomat who was attached to the Sri Lanka High Commission in London and is entitled to diplomatic immunity as per Article 31 of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations of 1961. The statement further added, during the proceedings, the court conceded that the summons procedure was not conducted in the ideal manner and this gave rise to a retrial. It adds, according to the additional evidence, demonstrators who had staged the protest in front of the Sri Lanka High Commission as well as those who protested in front of Westminster Magistrates Court during the court hearings had used flags of the LTTE, which is a proscribed organisation in the UK. The Ministry of Foreign Relations says the sequence of events, the private prosecution, failure to uphold Brigadier Fernando's diplomatic immunities, the timing of the delivering of the judgment on the eve of the UK election, the alleged unruly and intimidatory behaviour of the supporters of the prosecution during court hearings who were also carrying LTTE flags during these hearings, the alleged leaking of privileged information submitted in court by the defence to the public domain by the private prosecution makes abundantly clear that this is a politically motivated action.
Meanwhile, the 7th OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meetings was held in Vienna, Austria yesterday. Following OPEC's decision, oil prices in the global market increased.
The meeting was held under the co-chairmanship of OPEC's President Manuel Fernandez. The meeting recalled the rights of people and nations to permanent sovereignty over their natural wealth and resources. OPEC and its allies agreed to deepen oil production cuts by a further 500,000 barrels a day until March 2020. Further to the decision of the 5th OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meeting in 2018, bringing the total production cut to 1.7 million barrels a day. This additional adjustment of 500,000 barrels would be in effect as of the 1st of January 2020. OPEC said it plans to review the policy at an extraordinary meeting during the first week of March next year. Following OPEC's decision, oil prices in the global market increased, with the US West Texas Intermediate crude future gaining 77 cents or 1.3% to settle at $59.2 a barrel. For the week, WTI gained more than 7% for its best week since June. During Friday's trading session, Brent gained 1.6% to settle at $64.37 a barrel.
Maldivian Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid said that Maldives seeks to restructure $1.4 billion of Chinese debt after years of heavy borrowing.
Speaking to journalists, the foreign minister said Maldives is seeking a diplomatic solution to restructure its Chinese debt as the country struggles with repayments. He added, while China was a generous donor, the previous Maldivian government borrowed heavily without adequate provisioning for repayments.
We have more news in store for you, but first, a quick commercial break.
Certain live studio visuals in this news bulletin are brought to you using mobile phones through software designed by our very own Sri Lankan developers. Newsfirst is proud to be the pioneering news network to make this technological breakthrough.
Sri Lankan athletes were able to win 6 gold medals at the 13th South Asian Games today. Thereby, Sri Lanka has secured 15 gold medals in athletic events, a feat they had achieved only after 1991. Appreciating these efforts, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa conveyed his wishes via a Twitter message.
Today was day 5 of the South Asian Games currently underway in Nepal. Hirunika Vijayaratne won gold in the women's marathon, clocking a time of 2 hours 41 minutes and 24 seconds. Indunil Herath won gold in the men's 800 meters event in a time of 1 minute and 50.52 seconds. Dilshi Kumarasinghe won gold in the women's 800 meters event in 2 minutes and 6.18 seconds, while the bronze medal was won by Gayantika Aberatna. Nadisha Dilhani won gold in the women's javelin throw event, while Nadika Lakmali won the bronze medal. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka won the 400-meter relay in both the men's and women's categories. The men's team included Aruna Darshana, Rajit Rajakaruna, Seniru Gunaratna and Lakmal Priyantha. The women's team included Omaya Udayangani, Kaushalya Madhushani, Dilshi Kumarasinghe and Gayantika Aberatna.
And with that, wrap up news for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Do take care and good night.